a short live with the Pompey Fisherman. It's quite a nice day today, and I wish the weather forecast people had got things right, because if they had, then maybe we could have got out on the boat today. But got a couple more things that I've got to do to it. There always seems to be a couple more things I've got to do to it. After the debacle with the old engine blowing up, I mean, I've got a nice engine now, don't get me wrong, and hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing will happen to it. But I wanted an auxiliary engine, so I managed to get a little tiny, it's a Chinese engine. It's only 3.3 oars, but it will sort of hang on the back and do what I hope it's going to do. Oh, not that one, that one. There it is. Strangest little outboard I've ever seen. But hopefully it'll do the job. And not that I ever want to use it. But as I say, it's better than trying to row, because the boat's too flipping big. And last time we tried that, Reese, bless his cotton socks, he tried to row and he's got the hand-eye coordination of a centipede, so we just continued to go round in circles for about 15 minutes. And I'm old and broken, so it took us a while. Anyway, the back of my boat, unfortunately, wouldn't take an outboard motor. It's, let me see if I can work this. Is it that way? Does that do it? Yes. Right, as you can see, the back of the boat has got a stern that scoops away from you. So it used to come out, before it came out about that far, and it was a outboard inboard, if you will. So the back of the boat used to come out by a foot, then go round the back to here. So I've only got this amount flat surface, and this, to be fair, is where they capped it off, and it's not strong enough to take an outboard. So I thought and messed around and went through all my scrap metal, and I had some stainless steel. So what I did, like the mad professor, I decided to make a bracket. So this now goes on there, in theory. That bolts down through there, which gives me a solid stainless steel plate here, which I can attach the bracket to hold an auxiliary outboard. So that was, hopefully that's going to work, because the little outboard, to be fair, it weighs about 3 bags of sugar. Look at that. Dear little thing. Like I say, I've never heard of the make. It's made in China. And I thought, well, it's got to be better than rowing. And also this year, we're going to be doing some drift netting on the channel, and we're going to be doing some long lining. So again, out of all the scrap I had, I thought I'll make a gurney wheel for a long line. So this bit here, what the line goes over, that's sprung loaded. That there is an old, it's an old kickstand motorcycle kickstand spring. And the way I've made it is so that it sits in a rod holder, not a rod, rollock holder in the boat. So it will swivel. Hello, Fishing Glasgow, UK. How are you, fella? So I made a gurney wheel up out of just 6mm mild steel rod, and made the frame up, and so that when it's running out, I can stop it and bait it. I made this, which basically just lifts up, then the wheel will go out, the line will go out, and then when I come to the part where, hold up, I want to bait the lines, in theory that'll drop down and I'll be able to bait up the hooks. It's 35 hooks to it. It looks like it's been made by a druid, but we'll see if it works. I mean, hopefully it'll work. I'm going on one anchor, one end, straight to the line. There's 30 metres of long line there, and then the other end I'm only having one buoy. But yeah, this is what I do when I'm bored. I come up with different things. I mean, if I put anything else on the boat, it'll sink, I should think, with the weight. We've got so much on it now, it's ridiculous. Here's the grapple anchors I made up. They're only light, out of, again, just scrap steel I had lying around. So hopefully it'll work. And in there is the drift net and the buoys in that bucket. So hopefully everything will work. Oh, I did get that engine to start with, but that's 4 oars, but it's a long shaft, so that was no good. I went all the way to Southampton to buy a bracket for the back of the boat, which is this thing, which when I got there I thought, well, I'll buy it because I've got it, but that is humongous and far too big, so I've bought another one off of eBay, which is a smaller one. But like I say, what I thought was, along with obviously the rod and lining, hopefully we'll be getting some plaice. We'll definitely be getting bass, because the marks I have are good bass marks, so it's just what size of bass we're going to get. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't had the boat out. I rigged it because I was going to, I joined a boat club, and you had to, trouble was, you could walk along the pontoon, but you had to climb down a ladder to get on the boat. So I made up a stainless steel bow rail so that I have something to hold on to, so I wouldn't walk down the ladder, fall off the boat and end up in a drink. Consequently, when I really sat down and thought about it, hi Jay, how are you, my friend? I thought, you silly old sod, you ain't going to be able to climb down the ladder, especially with fishing gear and that. So I've decided to stick with Northern Marina and launch it from there. It's a bit expensive for my taste, but at least that way I know I can get on and off the boat once we've put it in the water, because it's got a slipway that's about a 30-degree angle, so it's like putting a boat in down the side of Ben Nevis. But hey ho, we'll hope it works. I haven't been on here for ages, purely because I've been working on the boat, and B, the weather's been atrocious. I've been trying to keep up online, having a look, see who's out and what's going on. And the other thing really was, apart from dogfish and occasional ray, which I call a flat dogfish because I don't like catching him either. There's not been much about. And bait being as expensive as it is, and fuel being as expensive as it is, I couldn't really warrant, spending 40, 50 quid to go out and catch dogfish and thornback ray. So I haven't been out. Sue's been poorly as well, so again, the couple of good days we did have of weather, she wasn't very well, so again, that knocked that in a touch. But hopefully, we'll have some nice fish this year. We'll have a laugh, and again, as I've said before, we'll be trying the long lines and a bit of drift netting while we're drifting for place out in Hayland Bay. Next month, looked up, picking up, hopefully, yes. Yeah. Hounds from the beach. I mean, I know people like catching hounds. Personally, I like to fish for the table. So, I mean, I love a fresh bit of flesh, a fresh place. Cod, haven't seen one for years. Mackerel's good fun. Bass I'm not a lover of, but Sue's dad likes it, so I'll keep one of them occasionally. But hounds are, I find them hard work. I know I ain't been out for months. Again, it was, I think I had to go through 4 boats last year. Because of finances and that, I could only buy old beat up things. And I had to sort of do a bit of work on them, get rid of them to get a little bit better one, and then do the same again. And that's it's took me 4 old boats to get to where I am now. Hopefully this is it. It'll do everything I want it to do. But I don't know what you guys are like, but I'll get up in the morning, I mean, I'm retired, I'll get up in the morning and I think, like, what can I do? Because the boat's here, I'm always thinking of something else to do to it. So it's going to end up like one of the scooters off of Quadrophenia in a minute. It's got that much chrome bars on it, and chrome rod rest, chrome steering wheel, stainless, everything on it. And I'll keep thinking of things, I could do that. Whereas if it wasn't here, if it was in a marina, it would have been basically a lot barer than it is now. Because I get out in the morning and I think, I ain't got nothing to do. I'll have a potter around on the boat. And then I'll come up with more ideas. I'm hoping the long line machine will work. I'm only going to be fishing on the side of like a mud bank, just messing around really. I don't expect to catch very much with it. I should only put squid on the hooks. They got 5 hooks on it, so what I'll do is I don't know if I'll do it when I'm out with Sue, because Sue just likes to get out and settle down and go, get her rod in the water. Maybe if I'm out with somebody else and they don't mind messing around for a bit, we'll stick the long line out, go fishing, pick it up on the way back in. But I'll only be fishing shallow with it. Just really to see, you don't try, you don't know, do you? The good thing with it is with a long line, I'm not going to be leaving it for hours. So anything that does get hooked on it, apart from being slightly stressed, will be put back in. Unless there's, a nice sized place or sole. The hooks are too big for sole, too big for place really. But if I get a hound on it, it will come back like Granny Smith's knitting, I should think, because them things tie everything up. So, you know, if I get a hound on it, I'll probably find a marker buoy about 100 yards away and pull up a bird's nest. So I won't be baiting with prawns, because the king prawns I found, like the big king prawns you get from the Chinese like supermarket, who they supply the food at the Chinese restaurants. I used them and I couldn't stop catching hounds. So if you want to catch hounds, go to find a local supplier, like a hypermarket thing that sells to the Chinese, and you get these big boxes, I think about 3 kilo boxes, for about 12 quid. And the prawns, I kid you not, they're huge. And every time I put a prawn on, I caught a hound. Nothing else, just hounds. I don't know why, but they seem to absolutely love them. Reese bought a box, and I thought, well, I'll have a box just to see. And they are deadly for smoothhound, which wasn't a lot good to me because I didn't want to catch smoothhound. Hence, after the 5th hound I caught on prawn, I used the rest as ground bait because I didn't want to catch any more flipping smoothhound. But I suppose it adds to good viewing. I've got a mount on my A-frame now for the fun, so hopefully it'll give a better view, and I'm thinking of putting another one maybe on the front bow rail, so that it shows more of the rods and coming from the bow of the boat. I don't know, I'll have to try it out. I'm not very good with a camera, as you all know if you've watched my videos on. But it was just a quick one to let you know I'm still alive, and we'll be getting out. Hello, Mick, my old mucker, how are you, fella? Yeah, so this is, I mean, because I was going to leave the boat in the marina, I had security-wise, I had to try and box everything in and lock it away. So, and now I'm not leaving it in the marina all the time. It was, but it gave me something to do. You know, the fuel tank is boxed in, so you can undo the padlock, get the fuel tank off, so I can leave the fuel tank on the boat. All the battery boxes and that are all locked away now underneath the console. So it's all out of the way. So all I've literally got to take when we go fishing is sandwiches, flasks and fishing rods. Everything else is on the boat. All the tackle's on the boat. So we don't have to carry nothing. So that's a good thing. But as I say, I don't know if I've not seen anyone online sort of further to the west, like Cornwall, Devon, that sort of area for a while. I mean, I would imagine that's fishing well. It always fishes well down there. All I've really seen is to the east, Guernsey. They get some fish eat there, don't they? But again, it's a shame that we're a bit barren down here in the Solent. But I don't want to. But yeah, I don't want to sort of go live unless I know I'm going to catch fish. Because I don't get to chat all the time. I haven't got much to chat about. You know, not that anybody want to hear. So it's more to, you know what I mean, like give people indoors, maybe who haven't got boats or a boat, and let them see what's going on out there. And hopefully catch some nice fish. And we'll probably have We'll probably have a few disasters because that normally happens with me. I mean, I've tried everything I've done to the boat, the trailer, everything I've replaced. So hopefully I'm not going to have any problems. And I hope this year the mackerel come in, because I never saw mackerel all year. I never saw one. I mean, a couple of my friends have, they've been out and they've been catching them like Johnny No Mates in 1s and 2s, but ridiculous. I don't know, the mackerel never came in at all really down here. And that's a good sport fish, and it's a good laugh. Sue loves catching mackerel. They make a complete mess of your boat with the flipping scales, but I missed that last year. Just hope we have a decent summer. I mean, I'm not even bothered if it's sort of mega hot, but if we've got like no wind, well, not no wind, but small winds and slight seas. Yeah, I do always need a Sue, Mick, yeah. She's up, her mum's in Plymouth at the moment, so I've been walking around like a lost lamb trying to find things to do. But she can't wait to get out. I mean, she loves it. And we don't have holidays or any of that no more, so our sort of like our only pleasure is fishing on the boat. I mean, I've tried fishing off the beach, but I can't. I'm walking up and down stones, I just can't do that no more. And carrying all the gear and putting up bivvies and all that. By the time I've got it up, I end up sitting on my chair, like breathing like an asthmatic, and sort of like thinking, I'm knackered. So there's no fun to it. Not for me. And I never seem to catch bugger all either. I can't cast worth a toffee, so that don't help. But as I say, I've been keeping on looking on the channels. Hi Matt, how are you, fella? I watch his Will, bless him. I used to turn the volume down when he starts singing. It does me nothing, but it's he's doing well. His channel's doing well. He's got, it's strange, we've now got puppets. Puppet on a fishing channel, but it works for him, bless his heart. And he's a lovely fella. But I mean, he's sort of gimmicky, which is, you know, which is good, you know. But like, it's just the singing, you know. I always seem to pop on and have a look when he's singing, and I think, oh Lord, I'll get off and go back in a bit. But he put some hours in. He do put some hours in, and like I say, his channel's really grown, which is brilliant. And you do got to laugh. I mean, Fish Hunter, I don't know if you guys watch Fish Hunter, Reese from Fish Hunter. I mean, he seems to go all over the world. But I think he's on another level. He's been going forever, but I think videos may be better than lives, unless it's like you guys all get to talk to each other, which is great. But I always feel like I'm not ignoring you, but on the boat I struggle to see the screen. So I'm hoping it would be more of a community thing, where you guys can all talk to each other and just watch a bit of fishing, what's going on. Whereas with the videos, I mean, Reese was going to lend me his GoPro, but I wouldn't have a clue. Not a rude bugger. I can't see worth toffee, honestly. I mean, I don't know if you notice, I keep lifting my head up. That's because I've got bifocals. So I have to lift my head up, see what it says on the screen. I look like one of them parrots off the Renault advert. But when I'm out in the boat, especially at night when it's dark, it's like Mr. Magoo tries to read a phone. It's hard enough getting the bait on the hook, let alone read. Like, and I can't make the letters any bigger because I don't know how. But I have got, I've got a pad now, not an iPad, because I didn't want to take the iPad in case that fell into drinking and I'd cry for the rest of the session. So I bought a cheap iPad, but it's got GPS. All I've got on it is, bless you, all I've got on it is me Navionics and YouTube. So the idea is, go find me mark on the Navionics and then pair it to the phone. So the phone's up on the bow rail and the tablet is in front of me on its holder on the console. So my brain, not being the quickest in the world, I'm thinking I'm seeing what you're seeing, but I've got a tablet that's 10 inches that I'll be able to read. Yeah, that's if I can get like the technology to join one to the other, but that's the plan. So hopefully I can get a really good view from the phone. Please God, don't let the phone fall in the water. On the bow rail, and then I can see what you guys are saying, and I can make sure that you can see all 4 rods. And if Sue takes the fluffy dog with her, they'll probably jump in the water every 5 minutes. I'll be fishing out with a landing net. But she's adamant she wants to take her new dog with her. Bloody thing. But yeah, so again, you might be, hang on guys, I've got to stop fishing, we've got to get the dog, dog overboard and go and find that flipping thing. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see if hopefully, hello son, all right. Yeah, so I'm hoping that the channel grow a bit. I'm not looking to ring the bell, but the more people that sign up, and the more I put out there, obviously, hopefully content that's a bit different, so it's not the same old all the time. And we'll be able to get out, and you'll be able to watch the sessions. If anyone's while I'm at, if anybody's got any suggestions, like Bill had wanted to try this, try that, try the other, then I'm always up for it, because I ain't got a Scooby what I'm doing with the camera. You know what I mean? Like, I had an abacus at school, you know what I mean? We didn't have computers. But hopefully it'll pick up. People will get to know the channel. Maybe pop on, and even if they're just popping on to have a chat with each other, that's fine, that's great. I mean, it's providing a service, isn't it? Just so you guys can all catch up with each other, have a chat, and it's a communal thing rather than a Pompey Fisherman thing. Hi David, thanks for popping on. Yeah, so that's the theory I'm looking at. You know what I mean? You guys can then have a chat amongst yourselves as well as watching some fishing. And it'll grow that way. I can't seem to get the camera, I'm trying to get the camera in a position on the boat so as you can see the rods, see the rod tips, and actually see the fish coming into the boat. Where I had it on the console before, all you could basically see was my big old ugly head and the horizon, which I wouldn't want to sit there watching that. So, and you know, you say you're competing with other channels. Well, I'm not competing at all. I'm out there. If you want to have a cockle, then terrific. You can bounce from channel to channel or whatever, and have a chat to each other. I've been still making rigs. Gone a bit quiet. I had one stage where I was sitting there making them all day for a couple of 3 days. But I'll keep a few in stock. There's plastic case. Oh, I missed that. I mean, basically, I'll make them. It gives me something to do. They're the Pompey Fisherman rigs with what's used. I only use the top quality materials for everything, and it gives me something to do. You know, it can earn me a couple of pennies, which goes towards the petrol and bait and that. But yeah, I just thought the long lining, and to long line, it's got to be calm. I mean, because you know you can't do it in a running. You've got to do it at slack tide, shoot it at slack tide, and retrieve it at slack tide. I mean, otherwise it just caused me a world of pain. So we'll have a crack at it. And the drift netting, I mean, it's only 100-metre net, 5.5-inch mesh, so nothing under 3.5 pound, anything is going to get caught in it. But I use it to give myself a yardstick of the depth of the fish and where the fish are. You know, it's 12 foot deep, so it fishes from the top down 12 foot. So obviously you're not going to catch any flatfish or plaice or sole or dabs or anything in it. But it gives me a bit of an idea if there's any life in that area. Like I say, it'll be catch and release. And maybe something different. You know, watch a silly old fart pulling a drift net in. I'll probably get trees, weed, and all manner of plastic bottles and stuff. So I'll be basically being a road sweeper on the sea. So that'd be good, wouldn't it? I mean, that's helping the environment. I'll catch all the crap that's floating in the sea, put it in the boat, take it home, put it in a dustbin. Is about probably what will happen, to be honest. But hopefully it'll be enjoyable. I thought I'd better come on here just to let people know and remind people I'm still a bait. If anybody got any questions or wants any advice or whatever, I mean, I've got a Facebook page, the Pompey Fisherman. By all means, ask. If I can help anybody out, I will. I've been at this for, now 66, since I was 14, so a lot of years. Trawled commercially, trammel net, gill net, drift net, commercially, and fished leisure my whole life. So I know how bad the stocks have got. I mean, I know how bad the environment's got. And it's what is it? Is it factory ships? I don't know. I don't understand why they have bass nurseries now, which I can understand if there was a shortage of bass. Personally, here we are overrun with bass. Nothing else, just bass. In all the harbour mouths, it's running alive with bass. No place, no flounders. There's no mussel beds left. There's no mussel beds to attract the fish. There's no natural habitat left in the Solent. All the mussel, I mean, everybody moans about the trawlers, but the trawlers used to turn the seabed over. So it's like, I don't know, a farmer. If you keep turning the seabed over, then, because I mean, say when they're clamming, the clamming season is only short. So they go out with clam dredges and they turn all the seabed over, and then that'll be it for a year. So it then re-aerates the seabed, and it, you know, it must have worked. You got mussel beds out there, you had cockle beds out there, you had whelk beds out there, oyster beds in Langston Harbour, everything that the fish can feed from. Now there's nothing left. If you got a camera and went underneath the water in the Solent between Portsmouth and the Isle of Wight, it's as flat as the M25. You've got occasional bits of muckweed. There's no rocks. There's no habitation. All the wrecks around here, like the Irishman, the Rowan, they've all now rotted away. So there's basically nothing there for the fish to congregate round. They've dug the middle of the Solent up for the aircraft carriers. So there's like a humongous hole in the middle, which you can't fish anyway because you get run down by tankers and what have you. But there's just nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing out there. I mean, dogfish got no natural predator. And there's millions of them, billions of them. But the days of people wanting rock salmon is long gone. Maybe with the state of the economy, people will start buying rock salmon and Dutch eel for your cats and dogs and what have you, and rock salmon. Because, I mean, rock salmon's quite, the top up, basically, when I was a kid, you'd go in a wet fish shop and you'd have rock salmon and Dutch eel. And people, you wouldn't go into any shop and buy dogfish. So the top, that far much from behind the head down the body, they called rock salmon. And then when it tapered off to the tail, look, it's the shape like a shark, as you know, they call that Dutch eel. And as kids, you know, my family never had nothing, so that was fish and chips one week was rock salmon. And it tastes fine. It tastes fine. But maybe because of the price of everything, there might become a market for dogfish or rock salmon, Dutch eel. Who knows? But there is thousands of them, and nobody keeps them. I mean, all right, the potting boys keep them for pot bait. But apart from that, nobody keeps them. Mick, I went out with my mate, Ginge and Barry, the other week on Barry's 32-foot Mitchell. We caught 63 dogfish. I thought we was fishing in Battersea Dog Zone. 63 of them. It was an absolute nightmare. Every single one of them go back in. The weight was hitting the bottom, and they was taking everything. They was taking squid, they was taking lug, they was taking rag, they was taking everything. Like blueies. You couldn't get away from them. If there was a market for them, I mean, if a buddy of mine lives in London, he likes I spoke to him after the fact, and oh, I'd have had them, Bill. Okay, again, skinning 63 dogfish. I mean, I think I would have got a bit peeved with that by the time I finished. I remember back in the day when I was a kid on my uncle's trawler, and I'd think, oh no, we've got a load of dogfish. And he had a plank behind the wheelhouse. He used to nail the head to the plank, and then you skim round it with like an old-fashioned razor blade, you know, the ones that you used to screw the top down on to have a shave, the single-edged ones. You have to skim it round behind its gills, behind its head, cut its fins off, pair of pliers either side, and it comes off like a sock. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too evil, but I wouldn't have wanted to do 63 of them. But, you know, and I don't even know if there's, I don't even know if there's a size for a dogfish. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, you won't keep anything that was little. You know, any fisherman won't keep anything unless you're European or Mediterranean, in which case they'll eat anything about an inch long. But they're just a pest. I mean, surely they could make cat food, or I don't know if they make animal feed out of fish. But if there was a call for them, then it wouldn't hurt them to take dogfish home. I mean, trust me, you're not going to put a dent in the population. And the problem is, you're fishing for a species. I even caught them on place rigs. And you're trying to target a species, and the target fish don't get a chance to even see the bait, because Rocky the dogfish is down there with his 2,000 mates, and they nicks all the bait before it gets to any other species. The Strat congers. I mean, in congaree, I mean, first time I ate congaree, I think personally, 38 centimetres. Oh, was it really? I didn't know there was I didn't know there was a limit on them. 38 centimetres. What's that in old school? 38. What thing here? Is it what centimetres on it? 38 centimetres, which is there, which 15 inches long. That's about average size for a dogfish, to be fair. I mean, most of them are longer than that. I think even the pups are longer than that. I would have thought the other day, they're not too much to me. No, they're bloody horrible. Yeah, 15 inches, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, even a 1 pound dogfish is going to be 13, 14 inches long. But the bloody things, trust me, they're bigger than 15 inches. But, I mean, and I don't mind skinning them if I had an home for them. I'd probably get told off. But, you know, it'd give me something to do in between, mind you, not if I'm amongst them. I was going to say, it'd give me something to do while I'm waiting for the next bite. But if I'm amongst a bloody dogfish, there ain't no... I'll be sat on the dock for about 3 hours de-skinning them. Maybe I'll start doing a pet food thing, frozen pet food. As I was saying about conger, first time I had a conger, to me it tasted like crab, if I'm honest. I mean, I was like, I don't really want to eat a conger eel. But we cut it in big fillets. It's the same with congers. No, that's right, they don't have any predators. Exactly so, Jay. I mean, like, and they're a pain in the arse and all. But, yeah, you eat them, and they taste like crab meat, to me. which is it's quite nice. Ain't sort of thing you'd have with chips. You wouldn't have crab meat with chips, would you? I don't think so. I mean, maybe like a cocktail, like a prawn cocktail, or have cocktail sauce on it, or whatever. But again, I don't know anybody that wants conger. So they all go, but I don't even get them in the boat. I T-bar them off the side of the boat. Anything that's slimy and swims backwards don't come in my boat. I've got me bimmy. Is it? Yeah, no, it's not bimmy. With me cover for the front. Jacket with smoked teal, proper nice. Oh, mixed smoked teal. It's, I mean, the geezer I was on about that wanted the rock salmon, he eats jelly deal. Mind you, he's from the east end of London, but he eats jelly deal. How could you ever eat congealed eel juice and slime? That to me, that's wrong on so many levels. Be like semolina on steroids. Yeah, I've got my cuddy done on my boat now, so which is a good thing because the boat is all open. It's all deck space. But if you want to get out the wind or rain, I'll have jelly deals. Oh, Mick, you're wrong. And we used to fike net back in the day for eels. My mate Ginger had a pond in his garden, and he had about 3 eels in it. And as soon as them eels came out the pond, or the next door neighbour knocked on the door and said, "Martin, your eels are in my garden. You know they're migrating." So we'd shoot all the fight nets out, and they was, back in the day, they were £1 a pound live, but they were £1 a pound. I mean, and that was good money back in the day. But we had massive, like the big water containers for central heating in factories, like massive, great big plastic tanks, fiberglass tanks, aerating, and we used to keep them in there. But you used to have one big male in each tank, otherwise they'd fight each other. And I don't know why. Really? Catch it for the market. I mean, I don't know why, but if you don't have one dominant big eel in a tank, the other eels would have a bundle. But if you had one dominant male big eel, or bigger than the others, in each tank, they never had a punch up. Weird. But yeah, we used to, and we've had eels in farms, as mad as it sounds. They live in weird, like standing ponds and that, and they used to go down where I live. You've got like a dual carriageway motorway bit, and a dike that goes underneath into the harbour. And we used to shoot them there, and we used to get hundreds of them. And then the lorry used to turn up. We look, a big vacuum hose, because when we first started, we weren't doing it commercially per se, because you don't do it once a year. But we used to net them out. And then this fella come from, he wasn't English, can't remember where he came from, probably France or something. I thought it was a territorial thing or something, but I can't understand why one big eel stopped the others from fighting. Don't know. And this lorry turned up, and he had a big hose, and he put the hose in, and the hose had an hole, it had a grill in the hose, so that as it sucked it up, the water would go through the grill, and the eels would end up in the tank on the back of this lorry. It was really clever. What took us used to take us about 4 hours to catch the bloody things with nets. He'd do the whole lot in about 35 minutes. But again, all gone. You can't even. He's a dominant choosing the red. Ah, right, okay. On the red list now. Really, Jay? Eels are endangered species. Blimey, go and Pompey Harbour, mate. You'll get about 56 billion of them. Silver eels and green eels. Billions of them. That's another thing. Look, you know, you get you can't. Years ago, you could sell your fish to, I don't know, fish and chip shop, Mandina Market. Now you've got to have a license, which I understand if you're commercially fishing, but it's so you've got to. Well, I'll never catch and release. Now you've got to have a sticker or whatever, or of actually where the fish came from, what area it came from, what location it came from, for pollution. And I found out the other week that we got a hospital, Queen Alexandra Hospital, and the sewage pipe that exits into the sea there, where there's so many treatments for ladies and gentlemen, like hormone treatment, obviously when they have a wee, it goes into the sewer, and it was causing the hormones to change in the fish, so you didn't have as many males or as many females of the breed or the species, so they weren't reproducing. I mean, who'd have thought of that? You know, you wouldn't think that you get hormones pumped into you, or cancer treatment or whatever, like you get, and then obviously you got to go to the toilet, and that flushes through the system, and that's affecting like livestock, fish livestock. And I think it was something to do with the shellfish as well. There were shellfish that were both male and female, and then it began stopping that as well. So they became only male or only female. But I was reading a thesis on it the other day on the internet, and it said, you know what I mean, this again is because the desalination, not desalination, the cleaning of the sewage is the theory is 1 billion years old. Takes all the lumpy bits out and the paper out and supposed to shred it up and neutralise it or whatever. But they haven't got anything that can neutralise medication that's coming out of people from hospitals that's going in the sewers. So again, we're going to end up with mackerel, half cod, or fish with 4 tails. A scary thought, isn't it? But I don't know if it's just in my area or it's all over the UK. That everyone's, the fishermen have noticed the change in populations of fish. I say Guernsey, watching Smash and Inglorious and that out there, they don't seem to have any problem at all with stocks of fish. It just seems to be the Solent is decimated. And unfortunately that's where I live. I was Essex as well, was it? But you get more fish down that end though. down the east, I mean, like I say, I watch his like Reese Fish Hunter and that, and you get like still get lots of flounders down there, lots of plaice down there, lots of. I mean, even the whiting. We didn't get any large whiting last year. You know, not like the big granddad or granddad pout. Granddad pout don't exist anymore down here. Pollock don't exist anymore down here. Like round, we've got a load of blocks. They're called the blocks that go off of Portsmouth seafront. It's submarine defences back in the Second World War. You'd always so these big blocks of concrete, you know, square blocks. They go all the way out to the forts. You've got the inner gate and the dolphin gate for traffic to go through. Well, years ago, you could always catch like wrasse, pouton, pollock, bream would always congregate round these structures because of the shellfish, you know what I mean, the limpets and everything else that was there. Now, nothing. And the place, I mean, they come down like from Folkestone, you know, I mean, they start catching them in the east, and there's lots of them, but they're really thin because they haven't bulked up. Now again, I mean, I do a lot of investigations on the fish I want to catch. You know, their movements, what they do when they feed, how they move, how they swim, what have you. Now, plaice always go. They start in the east, go to the west. You get them down in Folkestone, that area, and they're really thin. They're like dabs you can see through them. By the time they get to, say, Bognor, Chichester, they've fattened up. But they swim on a west tide. So they swim, when the tide's running west, they swim with it. Then they bury themselves, feed, let the tide go over their nut. They feed at slack water. And then as soon as the tide's, like the east tide's gone, the west tide comes back, they're off on their bike again. By the time they get to my area, they always used to be nice size, you know, thick. They fed a lot, but they feed off the mussel beds and pea, crab, and all that. Now, the surveyors said they literally get to just off of Chichester Bar, and instead of coming through the Solent and going down Southampton Water around the back of the Needles, the Solent is now so polluted. They get to Chichester Bar and a Dean Tell, and then they hang a left and they go round the back of the island into the English Channel, back round the other end of the island at the Needles, and then carry on down to Bournemouth, Poole, Plymouth, that way. They are bypassing the Solent. I mean, they're not stupid. They know that there's no food there. They know that, you know what I mean, it's the water is, you can literally go out in a boat, go out of Chichester Harbour, Langston Harbour, head east, and the water is like a dark greeny browny colour. As soon as you get past Selsey, you can literally see with the eye on the water changes colour. It gets clearer and clearer and clearer the further you go away from the Solent. As soon as you come back to the Solent, it's green, it's vile, it's murky, it's brown, it's horrible. And the same the other end of the island. You go out to the that's yeah, you go up to the Needles, and again, the water changes colour. It goes clearer. Hence more oxygen, more food, more natural food. So we're basically we're fishing in a toilet bowl. And again, if you do catch anything, flounder population has dwindled in the Thames. Oh really? Sole? I never knew that, Nick. I mean, I know there's sole at Southampton Water, which again is up by the Needles, and there's some good sole marks up there. Flounders used to be billions of them in Langston Harbour, gone. All right, the seals, they eat 3 times their body weight, and now there's a heap of them in there because you know, the council decided that it was going to fill up the Solent with seals, and then they bought 2 boats and they were going to take people out seal watching. They thought they could earn a few quid. One of the boats has never moved, and you know, council were really clever. The only time you can see seals, like, is when they're on the mud, or you might see an head pop up now and again. The boats they got can't go in shallow water, so they can't get close enough to see the bloody seals in the first place. And they've eaten everything that they can eat in the harbour, and they've decimated everything. So that was a good idea. Good old council. So that ain't out with our fish population. But I'm having a moan, isn't I? But now, you know, especially, I mean, I've got a 15 4-stroke on the back of my boat now. I was lucky enough to get them. A few of the guys on the channel and donated a couple of quid for me, which was absolutely brilliant. And Will, like the local Marks Fisherman, he bought me over a rod, which I sold for a couple of quid, and that out towards my engine. So I was deeply grateful of that. But again, it's fuel, isn't it? I can only run I've got an old car, so I can only run it on E5. Now I know it's, when you see the prices on the petrol stations, it says, I don't know, 69 pence a litre for unleaded and 72 for diesel. What they don't show you is the E5. When unleaded was 60p a litre, E5 was 71p a litre, which you don't know that until you get to the E5 pump. Anyway, I had to put some petrol in my car the other day, and I took a gallon can with me because I thought I need some for my outboards again, because I can't run on an E5, it'll kill them, so I've got to run them on E10. I've got a bit to kill them, so I've got to run them E5. Filled a gallon can up with E5 petrol before I filled the car up. It cost me £10.70 for a gallon of E5 petrol. Over a tenner a gallon. What's that all about? Might be me, I might be old. I remember when it was 50 pence a gallon. Or 5 bob. 10 bob, sorry. But yeah, so anyway, the plan is, hopefully, looking now, be the end of April, I would imagine. As soon as the weather turns and the winds drop and it's not -2 at night, because Sue feels the cold, we'll be out on the boat. I'll try and put up a thing telling on YouTube. I ain't got many followers, so it don't normally go very far, but I will try and put a schedule on there to say that I'm going to be out, and I hope to see everybody on there. Thanks for dropping in, and I hope you catch a load of fish. I hope you enjoy your fishing. It's good for your mental health, and like I say, getting on YouTube channels is good to chat to other fishermen and that, which is great. That's what it's all about. It's not about getting 1,000 subscribers and getting paid and getting people to give you things and all that. Well, it's not in my case anyway. I mean, my channel ain't meant for that. I real sea fishing. But you know, for me, it's just have friends, and thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it. And have a bit of a social life, and see what's going on HMS Suzanne, the old boat. Right, thank you, Mick. I really appreciate it. Now you all look after yourselves, okay? hope you're all well. Hope your families are all well. And may luck come to you. I will catch you all later. And I'll give you a couple of seconds. When you go live, thank you very much indeed, Joe. I really appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Not as nice. It's just it's. Hi, David. Speaking of fishing, yeah, real fishing. Thank you very much indeed. We'll have a go, and God bless you all. And I'll catch you when we're out. Bye bye now.